Then moving on to Marijour, the grosses were very surprised by the newspaper that had just been released. What is the meaning of this photo? We won't allow it. And as far as I remember, I told him to remove the D from his name, said Grosse St. Marcus in an angry tone. The Navy soldier was frightened by the angry Grosse. No sir, we were never told about that, said the soldier. This photo was sent by Guernica-sama from CP0. Grosse then said again, reprint, the world must not see this. The Navy soldier answered again, we have tried to contact the printer, sir, but I think it's useless. Then moved to Morgan's place, who was giving encouragement to his workers. Ha ha ha, what an enchanting appearance. Okay, everyone. Spreading this news throughout the world depends on all of us, said Morgan. Morgan then said how he got the photo of Luffy Gear 5. CP0's transition from Wano country was interrupted when they saw Big Mom's ship. The wheels of the world won't stop turning. I won't let their propaganda be kept a secret if the real story is like this. Then moved to the rest of the world, where people all over the world were shocked when they got newspapers showing the news of the defeat of two Yonko, namely Kaido and Big Mom. The narrator then says that the big news of the defeat of the two Yonkos spread throughout the world. The three captains of the worst generation played a big role in the overthrow of the Yonko, who had been in power for many years. Each of them was given an extraordinary bounty value by the world government, namely 3 billion berries. And then shown the bounties of Luffy, Yastakid, and Trafalgar Law. Each of these three captains got a bounty value of 3 billion berry. And for Luffy, it turns out that the photo on his bounty price has changed to a knicker. Then moved back to Wano country, specifically to Takage Port. Nakama, Law, and Kid were very surprised by the bounty price for their two captains, which was 3 billion berries. Boss, Captain, this is extraordinary. Each of you getting a bounty of 3 billion berries. However, after seeing the bounty price, Yastakid suddenly left the location. Apo then asked the others, hey, where did the idiot Kid go? His eyes looked ridiculous. Killer then answered that he was definitely going to the flower capital. What we are talking about is Kid. There is only one thing on his mind right now. Then the other newcomer also wanted to go to the flower capital because there was a festival. Let's follow, Captain. I heard there's a festival today. Let's party, said newcomer Law and also Kid. Meanwhile, Law just said that it seems like the situation is getting more complicated. Then moved to the shogunate's castle. The shogun's castle chef had prepared the most delicious food he had ever made. But unfortunately, because he took too long to cook, it took 2 hours for Shogun Momonosuke, and the others couldn't wait any longer. They also chose to go to the flower capital to a party with the residents. Only Jinbai is left waiting for the chef to cook and prepare the best food. Wow, this looks really delicious. Thank you for the dish. But unfortunately, the others couldn't wait the 2 hours. And from the sound of it, they were really going to Kotor to enjoy the festival. Then moved to the festival location. In the middle of the flower capital, Momonosuke gave the order that tonight all food was free. Please eat and drink to your heart's content. The residents cheered and were happy, because all the food available was given free by the shogun. Luffy, Copper, and Yamato really enjoy the festival. Luffy's mouth and hands are full of food, as are Chopper and Yamato. This is my first festival. It's really amazing, said Yamato. Then in the same location, Brooke and Hiri sang Odin's favorite song, namely Putribulin. Their performance was immediately greeted with great excitement and enthusiasm by the residents. Then moved to the basement of the shogun's castle. Robin was looking at a collection of dolls in the castle's basement. Then suddenly Tangayama said, "Do you like it, Nico Robin?" Robin was surprised because Tangwasu knew his name. "How come you know my name is Tangayama?" Tangayama then said that what you are observing is my personal collection. Robin then asked why your personal collection is here. Tangayama then answered, "This is the room that was originally my secret hobby room. But in the end I ended up being locked up here for several years." Robin was shocked to hear that he was locked up. "Aren't you a sword maker? Who are you really?" asked Robin. Tangayama then answered, "I made swords. Because I had a little talent, but it was still just a hobby, because leading was a very tiring job." Tangayama then took off his mask. "I am Kozuki Sukiyaki, Odin's father." Robin was surprised to hear that. "Does Momonosuke know about this?" asked Robin. Tangayama answered, "No, and I have no intention of telling him. Even though I know that one of his loyal servants can recognize my identity. But how could I show my face now that I am the one who caused Orochi to rule? With great difficulty I escaped from this room, and when I came out Odin was dead, and Wano had turned into hell. I had thought about doing my seppuku." But suddenly Robin interrupted Tangayama's words. "Tangayama-san should be somewhere in this country, the ancient weapon Pluton. That's what is written in the poneglyph in Nature Baster." Tangayama then answered, "Yes, it is indeed here." Then moved to the former Yuden prison mine. But there is something different about the mine, which is famous for being barren and full of signs of life, has suddenly turned into a very dense forest. Tall and giant trees towered around the mine. And it turns out that Navy Admiral Ryakuju is on a rampage in Yuden prison. Ryakuju cleaned up all the remaining wild animal pirates. All of Kaido's men were killed by Ryakuju. The nutrients were taken to increase his strength. Even Baba Nuki only had a skeleton left after his nutrition was taken by Ryakuju as well as Kaido's two high-ranking officers, namely King and Queen. The fat queen immediately became thinner, but both of them couldn't fight because they were seriously injured after the big fight, and could only surrender when Ryakuju made them into living mummies. Queen could only say that a thin body doesn't suit me. Ryakuju then stepped on it. "Shut up already. With my rank I would lose face if I lost to some commanders like you. The current navy doesn't have enough manpower to deal with the mess you've created, but I don't expect much from you either." Queen can only surrender, with his body now only bones. And then it became known that Ryakuju's real name was Navy Admiral Ryakuju Aramaki. Ryakuju then contacted the Navy ship that was on guard outside Wano Beach. "Hello, this is Ryakuju. Bring the ship here and don't report this to a canoe, you understand, right?" Then Ryakuju left the Yuden prison mine after taking care of Kaido's gang, and currently he is heading to the flower capital to catch Luffy. "Oh, I always like her unbridled style. I can't wait to get her compliments. And now I can see the chances that he will definitely praise me if I bring this boy's head home," said Ryakuju while holding Luffy's newest poster. Then moved back to the capital of flowers. Luffy takes over the stage and presides over the highlight of the festival. "You, everyone, raise your glasses. You are all good at fighting great, and now let's celebrate this victory festival." Then Momonosuke remembered a few moments after Luffy defeated Kaido. Luffy asked Momonosuke not to tell anyone about himself to the people in Wano. "Momonosuke, don't tell anyone about me." Momonosuke then answered why. "Because I don't want to be a hero," said Luffy. Momo smiled after remembering what Luffy said. Then when the festival was about to start, suddenly the Giz-Ao came. "Woi Mujiwara, if I kill you now, so I." Giz-Ao's words were cut off by fireworks that had been lit, which was a sign that the festival had started. Luffy then took the Gizao to ask him to toast. Yes, everyone. Let's drink and party until morning. Kanpai, together with Luffy. All the people of Wano toasted together, with fireworks decorating the night sky. The residents rejoice in celebrating victory for the country of Wano. Hayo's grandfather and his crew were also very happy. The pirates were very rowdy, but this was the biggest and wildest of all the festivals I've ever seen. The children and the community ate to their heart's content. Then back to Luffy and Gizao. Let me go, Mugiwara. I don't want to take part in this ridiculous party. I came to kill you. I don't know what's going on out there, but they've announced the new names of the Yonko. Luffy was very surprised when he saw the bounty and his latest photo. And here are the 4 Yonko of the new Sea Emperors: Akagami no Shanks, Monkey D. Luffy, Buggy the Clown, and Marshall D. Teach. Then moved again to Ryakuju's place, which had arrived near the flower capital. Wow, they really enjoyed the music and the revelry. But us Marines weren't in the mood, especially since the whole world is currently in chaos. Then moved to Reizo, Denjiro, Kawamatsu, and Inuarashi. Reizo suddenly felt the presence of someone very strong approaching the flower capital. You feel it too, right, Denjiro? Asked Reizo. Denjiro then answered, yes. Don't bother, Luffy and the others with this problem. We'll take care of it ourselves, said Denjiro. Nico, come with us, said Reizo. The Shogun's bodyguards headed towards the place where the person they felt was. Then moved to Ryakuju, which continues to get closer to the flower capital. The ability to influence other people is truly unusual, an ability that is rarely encountered, said Ryakuju as he stepped towards the flower capital. And miraculously, every time Ryakuju takes a step, flowers and plants grow around him, which makes the previously barren country of Wano now turn into a country full of grass and trees. Even though Ryakuju has just arrived in Wano, the effect of his devil fruit power actually makes Wano a fertile land. And then suddenly Ryakuju's steps stopped. With the arrival of the Akazaya samurai Inuarashi, Nakomamushi, Reizo, Shinobu, and Kawamatsu blocking Ryakuju Street. Ryakuju then said, "You samurai, don't get in my way. I have nothing to do with you," said Ryakuju. Reizo then said, "That was the navy of one of Luffy's enemies in the ocean." And without further ado, Ryakuju attacked the samurai. With the power of his devil fruit, Ryakuju turns into a huge wood forest and attacks brutally using the roots of the trees he controls. Do you know what the situation is like outside the world now? Tenryubito is a god. An isolated country like this, that has no ties to world governments, has no place in this world. Don't hate me, because that's the rule of the world. This is the power of Mori Mori no Mi that makes me a forest person. My Logier power is the embodiment of the natural source of life. That is comparable to the ocean. It's time for you to accept the reality. Humanity has survived so far, only thanks to the existence of hierarchy. We must teach isolated countries like yours a lesson. These rules are the basis for the survival of mankind. Discrimination is what gives birth to stability. No laws will be violated. If you all want to die here, just try to stop me. I will slaughter thousands of your citizens, if that's what it takes to catch Mugiwara no Luffy. Then suddenly Yamato came and launched his thunder bagware attack at Ryakuju. Every word you say makes me queasiness. Yamato's attack hit Ryakuju squarely, making him almost hit the ground. That bastard is so sick. Your haki is so strong. Who are you? Asked Ryakuju. Yamato then replied, "The people of this country have gone through 20 years of misery. Now they can finally celebrate freedom. How could I let you ruin it? My name is Yamato, and I am Kaido's son. Ryakuju was quite surprised to hear that, Kaido's son. And then not long after Momonosuke came. Your words are very true, Yamato. And we samurai, we will not let you touch our heroes who are recovering, said Momonosuke while shooting a fireball. But it didn't come out. Because the fireball didn't come out, Momonosuke attacked directly. He ran very fast to attack Ryakuju. Momonosuke bit one of Ryakuju's wooden body parts. Whatever happens, we will expel you from the flower capital. No one can bring horror and terror to our people again. I swear, I won't let you, said Momonosuke while biting Ryakuju. Ryakuju was quite surprised to see a pink dragon. The pink dragon was really strange. This is the first time I know this ability. However, Momonosuke's attacks were nothing to Ryakuju. You're just annoying. Ryakuju wrapped his roots around Momonosuke's body, making him unable to move. Yamato and the others also try to save Momonosuke, but Momonosuke forbids it. Don't interfere, Yamato, said Momonosuke. Then moved round the sea in the country of Wano. Yonko the Akagami knows Shanks' pirates. Apparently he was around Wano. Lucky Roo then says to Shanks, this boss is hard to believe, but he really made it happen. Luffy has become a great pirate. Let's meet him, boss, said Lucky Roo. Shanks then answered, this reminds me. The last time I was here, we said goodbye to Odin-san. Momonosuke and Hiyori, maybe they're big now. Shanks' other nakama also invited Shanks to visit Wano, boss. Now let's meet Luffy. He has become a great pirate. While Yasup is a little nervous, hey, wait a minute. I'm still not ready to meet my son Usopp, said Yasup. Lime Juice then said, that kid named Keed is also here, right? That kid used to try to mess with us by challenging us, Lime Juice said. Then Shanks read the news and saw Luffy's bounty and latest form. Look at this, Shanks said while smiling when he saw it. Then flashback when Shanks remembered when he got the devil fruit Gamu Gamu no Mi. Flashback to several years ago, before Shanks met Luffy. The world government agent ship was very shocked, seeing the Akagami pirate ship approaching them. Then Ben Beckman told Shanks that there was a purple agent on the ship. It's just troublesome, said Beckman. Shanks then replied, who cares? Keep moving forward. And then who was still very young at that time. And he was the one who guarded the devil fruit Gamu Gamu no Mi. He was very surprised by Shanks' arrival. What were they after? We are not carrying any treasure. We're just carrying a lousy devil fruit. Say whoa whoa. And then, after successfully getting the Gamu Gamu devil fruit, Shanks went to Fushire village and met Luffy. There Shanks also remembers when he risked his life to save Luffy from an attack by a sea monster, which resulted in the loss of his left hand. Then moving back to the present, the new children on Shanks' ship were very surprised. If their commanders and captains knew the figure of Mugiwara, the commanders know him, they really know Luffy's Mugiwara. People say he's like a wild monkey demon who can't be controlled. Then Shanks said to his nakama that he didn't want to meet Luffy here. Lucky Roo was surprised to hear that. Shanks then continued, have you forgotten what happened in our region? Shanks' nakama also remembered the incident, where Bartolomeo put up Roger Luffy's jelly flag in Shanks' territory. Bartolomeo even burned Shanks' Jolly Roger flag. Shanks then said again, we would be embarrassed if we just let that happen. And then Shanks sat down in front of Beckman. Hi Beck, shouldn't it be time for us to go get One Piece? Shanks tells Beckman that it's time for them to find One Piece. Then moving to the naval headquarters, the head of the criminal affairs unit, Cromer, told Akainu that the revolutionary forces had really gone too far. We must not let the revolutionary forces embarrass us any longer, Kuromar said. Akainu then answered, but we no longer have any remaining navy that can be deployed. Akainu said that for now, they couldn't do anything to overcome the revolutionary forces, even though one of the descendants of the world's founder, King Cobra, was killed by Sabo. Then a flashback, showing the revolutionary troops attacking Marijoer. Kuromar tells how the Holy Land of Marijoer was attacked, carried out by revolutionary forces. They burned Tenryubito's house, and burned the symbols of the world's nobles. This was clearly a declaration of war from them. Admiral Ryukujyu and Fujitora, the leader of naval defense in Marijoer, but in the end they succeeded in freeing their former colleagues, Bartolomeo Kumar, from Tenryubito's slavery, and they managed to escape. I'm sure the admirals can't do much, since they're fighting in Marijoer. Akainu then answered, don't make any excuses for their failure. It wasn't just the King Cobra that was killed, but almost at the same time Vivi's daughter had disappeared. Kuroma then said, we are still investigating how these cases are connected. Akainu then said again, I'm sure Alabaster must be in chaos, because their king has been killed in Marijoer. Kuroma then said, yes. Their escort ships hadn't even left Redport yet. It's hard for anyone to leave in this situation. Then Kizaru said, what about the case of the attempted murder of St. Carlos? The one where St. Miascar forgives the criminals who attack. Akainu then answered, in Marijoer there are divine warriors who have the authority to carry out punishments on Tenryubito. This is a pretty complicated situation. Just leave them be. Akainu said. Kuromar then said again, it seems that most of these incidents are related to Sabo. The fire of rebellion is spreading throughout the world. Where 8 kingdoms had a rebellion, they were inspired to start a revolution, while their king had not yet returned from Marijoer. As if everyone worshipped him as a god, the greater his legend. It could be said that his influence was also greater than that of the dragon, the revolutionary himself. Even now, he is nicknamed the Sabo Fire Emperor. Kizaru then continued, and what's more, his younger brother is Luffy's Mugiwara, who is currently one of the Yonko. The influence of the Fire Emperor Sabo was even felt in the world of pirates. Now the world has been forced to change, said Kizaru, and then moves to a kingdom, which has staged a rebellion and coup against its king. People raised their weapons, and Sabo's photo was displayed so large, they shouted the name of Sabo the Fire Emperor. And then Akainu said, I became an admiral in a chaotic era, but I don't care where they attack us. We will attack them back from all directions, said Akainu.